Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know how much I love a good renovation project, taking something old and making it new again. One thing I've learned along the way is that details matter. Whether you're refinishing a piece of furniture you found at a flea market or tackling a DIY project for your home, accurately measuring your stain area is key. So today we're diving into the top 10 ways to measure for stains like a pro. We'll explore everything from classic tools you probably already have on hand to some high-tech gadgets you might not even know existed. Let's get started. Let's start with the tried and true, the measuring tape. To measure your stain area, simply extend the tape measure across the length of the surface, pressing firmly to ensure an accurate reading. Don't forget to jot down your measurements. I like to keep a little notepad handy or even use the Notes app on my phone. Measuring tapes are great for those larger surfaces like tabletops, floors, or even the side of a house if you're feeling ambitious. They're budget-friendly and easy to find at any hardware store. Now, while measuring tapes are super versatile, they might not be ideal for every situation, but for those everyday projects, the measuring tape is a reliable go-to that gets the job done. Now, if you're looking for a more high-tech approach with incredible accuracy, a laser distance measurer is your new best friend. This tool is a game-changer, especially for those larger projects or hard-to-reach areas. Just point the laser beam at the starting point of your stain area and press the button. The measurer will instantly calculate the distance, giving you a precise measurement in seconds. Laser distance measurers are perfect for those bigger projects like decks, fences, or even mapping out an entire room for staining. They eliminate the need for someone to hold the other end of a tape measure, which is a lifesaver if you're working solo. Plus, the accuracy of these lasers is unmatched. If you're tackling frequent DIY projects or need that extra level of precision, a laser distance measurer is worth considering. Let's talk about precision, folks. When you're dealing with those smaller stain projects or need to get super detailed with your measurements, digital calipers are the way to go. These little tools are incredibly accurate, measuring down to a fraction of a millimeter. They're perfect for tasks like measuring the width of molding, the depth of a groove in a piece of furniture, or even the diameter of a small circular stain area. To use digital calipers, simply slide the jaws open, fit them snugly around the object you're measuring, and then close the jaws. The digital display will give you an instant and precise reading. I love using digital calipers when I'm working on more intricate projects like restoring an antique picture frame or adding decorative stain details to a piece of furniture. While they might seem a bit intimidating at first, digital calipers are surprisingly user-friendly. Chapter 4 now, get creative graph paper for irregular shapes. What happens when you're faced with an irregularly shaped stain area? That's where graph paper comes in handy. This method is all about transferring the shape of your stain area onto paper, so you can accurately calculate its dimensions. Start by laying a piece of graph paper over your stain area. If needed, use painter's tape to secure it in place. Next, using a pencil, carefully trace the outline of your stain area onto the graph paper. Once you have the entire shape traced, remove the paper and you'll have a perfect replica of your stain area. Graph paper is a budget-friendly and creative solution for measuring those tricky, irregular stain areas. Chapter 5, quick and easy, the reliable ruler. Sometimes the simplest tools are the best tools, and that's definitely true for the trusty ruler. While it might not be the most glamorous tool in the shed, a ruler can be surprisingly handy for quick and easy stain measurements. Rulers are perfect for those smaller stain projects or when you need to make a straight line. They're also great for double-checking measurements you've taken with other tools, just to be extra sure. Whether you're measuring the width of a picture frame, the length of a shelf, or the diameter of a circular stain area, a ruler can get the job done quickly and efficiently. So don't underestimate the power of a simple ruler. It might not have all the bells and whistles of some of the other tools on our list, but it's a reliable workhorse that deserves a spot in your DIY toolkit. Chapter 6. There's an app for that smartphone measuring apps. We live in a digital age, so it's no surprise that there's an app for just about everything, including measuring. Smartphone measuring apps are becoming increasingly popular, and for good reason. These apps use your phone's camera and augmented reality technology to measure distances and dimensions in real time. Simply point your phone's camera at the area you want to measure, and the app will do the rest. Smartphone measuring apps are incredibly convenient. You don't need to carry around multiple tools, and the measurements are displayed instantly on your phone's screen. Plus, many of these apps are free to download and use. For those quick and easy measurements, smartphone measuring apps are definitely worth checking out. Now let's talk about curves. Measuring straight lines is one thing, but what about those rounded or irregular surfaces? That's where flexible measuring tapes come in handy. These tapes are made from a flexible material, usually plastic or cloth, that can easily bend and curve to follow the contours of any surface. They're perfect for measuring the circumference of a round table, the length of an arched doorway, or even the distance around a curved piece of furniture. To use a flexible measuring tape, simply wrap it around the object you're measuring, making sure the tape is snug but not too tight. Then, mark the tape at the point where it overlaps and you'll have your measurement. Flexible measuring tapes are a must-have for any dealer who loves working with curves and unique shapes. They take the guesswork out of measuring those tricky surfaces and ensure accurate results. You know I'm all about those straight lines and perfect angles, and that's where a level comes in handy. Even when you're measuring for stains, while it might not seem directly related to measuring, a level is essential for ensuring your measurements are accurate and your stain lines are straight. Before you even break out your measuring tape, use a level to check that the surface you're working with is level. This is especially important for larger surfaces like floors, countertops, or even furniture pieces. If your surface isn't level, your measurements might be off, leading to uneven stain lines. A level is a simple tool that can make a world of difference in the accuracy of your measurements and the overall outcome of your stain project. Now, if you're dealing with a particularly complex or large-scale stain project, you might want to consider bringing in the big guns, a 3D scanner. This high-tech tool captures precise measurements and creates a digital 3D model of your stain area. 3D scanners use lasers or structured light to map the surface of an object, capturing even the smallest details and irregularities. This is incredibly helpful for projects with intricate carvings, moldings, or other complex shapes. Once you have a 3D scan of your stain area, you can use software to manipulate the model, take precise measurements, and even calculate the exact amount of stain you'll need. While 3D scanners can be a significant investment, the technology is becoming more accessible, with more affordable 3D scanners hitting the market. So keep an eye out for those. Here's the thing about measuring. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. The best approach often involves using a combination of tools to get the most accurate results. For example, you might use a measuring tape to get the overall dimensions of a room, then switch to a ruler for more precise measurements of trim work or moldings. Or you could use a laser distance measurer to determine the length of a fence, then grab a flexible measuring tape to measure the curved sections. By combining the strengths of different measuring tools, you can ensure your measurements are as accurate as possible, leading to a more professional-looking stain job. So get creative, experiment with different tools, and find what works best for you. Well, there you have it, folks. Our top 10 ways to measure for stains like a pro. Remember, accurate measurements are the foundation of any successful staining project. Whether you prefer the classic reliability of a measuring tape, or you're ready to embrace the high-tech world of laser distance measurers and 3D scanners, there's a perfect tool out there for you. So don't be afraid to experiment, find what works best for you, and most importantly, have fun with it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more design tips and tricks. See you next time.